Is homosexuality a sin? I'm going to approach this from an angle I bet you've never thought about. Most homosexuals argue with Christians saying the Bible doesn't condemn homosexuality, and then they do some justification against it. And I don't believe in God, I don't believe in the scriptures, etc. But the homosexual has to ascribe to some sort of belief system, so a lot of times they default to the evolutionary concepts that have been promoted in our society. Now, it's obvious to see how creation, the design of man and woman for each other, and how God wanted them to live in familial matrimony together forever and to have children and to reproduce, we can see how the homosexual is excluded from that design. But have you ever stopped to wonder about if the homosexual was excluded from the evolutionary design? And I'm going to say that they are. And here is the reason. Number one, the highest ideal in evolution is survival of the fittest. Now, I don't think the evolutionists do a great job of explaining how that transfers into creating offspring, but somehow or another, by surviving, we have offspring, maybe having more of us together, maybe that helps in some kind of fashion, but our offspring aren't us, so they kind of start, the whole concept begins to eat itself. But let's say that survival of the fittest has transferred into us having progeny or having offspring, then the homosexual is a dead end to the evolutionary process. Also, let's say a homosexual goes to great lengths to have some offspring and they sire a child in some way or another, and this child grows up. According to the evolutionary metric, this child is going to want to reproduce according to the evolutionary metric and not even like their parent. Sadly, whether it's creation or evolution, homosexuals find themselves in a very lonely frame of mind. And that's something we really need to consider as we decide whether we are for or against such ideology and practices.